Okay, welcome to the Quiz 9 walkthrough. This quiz covers some of Module 8 and some of Module 9 and does some neat stuff with what-if scenarios. So here we're Placer Hills Real Estate Commission is split with other agencies based on price groups. You're going to create a one variable data table and do some solver and then create a little histogram about the sales. All right, so here's our starter file. Let's start over here. Let's start checking some boxes. Yay, I opened it. Yay, I've enabled it. All right. So it says to review the formulas in C14, 15, 16, and 17. So let's just take a look at this. We have some prices of homes, what the split on the commissions is, and then estimated fees based on the selling price of the house itself. So based on that, if somebody sells a house worth $2.75 million, with a commission rate of 6%, the total commission is those two cells multiplied by each other. And then how much of that does Placer Hills Real Estate get? It depends on the cost of the house, doesn't it? If the price is between 0 and 1.49999 million, the split is 50. If it's between 1.5 and 5.5, it's 50. If it's 5.5 to 9.5, it's 45. And all those percentages are then multiplied by the selling price of the house. So that's a big, long if-s function. Now on the fee calculation, it's similar there. So it looks at the selling price of the house and then multiplies the selling price by the estimated fees based on which row that 2.75 million comes into play on. And then the bottom line is just C15 minus 16. How much is the net commission for Placer Hills after you take their base commission and subtract out the necessary fees? So we're going to create a one variable data table down here that puts different proposed splits in place of the current splits. And I want to know how much commission PHRE is going to get. So the base commission is here before the fees. That's cell C15. And then after the fees, it's C17. Now I could go through and manually put 30, 35, 40, 45, etc. into cell D8, which is the cost of the house row up on the 8th row. And then for each one of those percentages, I could document what the fees are before and after and put them in cells C and D 21 and then repeat it for C and D 22 and 23 and 24, but this would be like a 10 or 15 minute process. And by setting this up as a one variable data table, it'll do it all for us automatically. So to do this, you highlight the grid and then go up to what if analysis and data table and select D8 and hit OK. And then it gives you the commissions before and after fees for all those different proposed splits. It says to take out the decimal places, so we'll click on here, go up to the home ribbon, take out my decimal places, and there you go. That's it for this step. Now let's go on to the solver model. So here we're going to work things a little backwards. I want to know how much of a selling price the house needs to be in order to pull down a net commission of $50,000, $75,000, or $100,000. So I could, put numbers into C12 over and over and over and over and over and over until you get to the exact right value. But I'm going to have Solver do this for me and then create a nice little scenario report that gives me all the magical numbers that I want to see for this business case. So I'll have 3 different scenarios showing the 3 different net commissions that I'm shooting for. All right, so first I need to enable the solver and the data analysis tool pack. So I come up here to File, then go down to the bottom to Options, and then Add-ins. Click on the Excel add-ins, click on Solver and the data analysis, And now on the data ribbon, you'll see those two tools out there on the right. So now we're good to go. So if we come down here and let's launch Solver. So our objective is the bottom line here, C17. And I want to optimize this to a value of 50,000. Don't put a comma in there. I know it's tempting. Don't do it. Don't do it. And I want to change cell C12 until I get C17 to be a value of 50,000. Now this problem is easy enough that we don't have any constraints. You'll have constraints on most problems, but this one's pretty simple. So I solve it, and Solver found a solution. Yay, there's an answer report that could be had. Restore the original values, and then save the scenario. And I need to call this first scenario 50,000, and it has to be the $sign, a 50, a comma, and then 3 zeros. So then I run this again, and this time I change that 50 to 75,000. Keep all the other stuff the same. Hit solve. Save scenario. Call this one 75,000 with the same punctuation as before. Hit OK. Do this one last time for 100,000. Solve it. Save the scenario. Keep the original values. Call this one 100,000. Hit OK. And now we have our 3 scenarios saved. So we're actually going to run the scenario manager and generate the report now. So again, go up to What If Analysis, Scenario Manager. There's my 3 scenarios. Hit Summary. And I want to leave it with that, but I want 3 different result cells. I want C12, comma, C14, comma, C17. And there's my report. So I can see all the selling prices, the total commission, the PHRE commission for 50, 75, 100. So I know exactly that if I want to make 50,000 commission, the price of the house has to be 1.709402. And then I can do the same for 75 or 100,000. 100,000 sounds good. But then again, there aren't that many $3.418 million houses on the market. So, we can dream, can't we? All right, this last step involves the data analysis tool pack. So here's a list of all the homes that have recently closed, and I want to know how many houses are sold in the $350,000 price range, and then how many in the $400,000 price range, etc. I want to highlight those two and drag it down until I get to 800. So for each of these, I want to know how many houses sold in that approximate price range. Those are called bins in a histogram. So let's launch the data analysis and click on histogram. Okay. Drag this out of the way a little bit. The input range is all the sale prices for all those houses. And then the bin range is this range of cells here, which are the bins. Don't click the labels box because we didn't include labels in anything. And then it says we want to put the output of this into a particular cell. So click on, I want H3, but I can't quite get to it. So move the box out of the way here. Click the chart output because I want the histogram chart. Hit OK. And it gives us a lovely histogram over here. And I think it says that it wants it between K3, which it starts in already, thank you, down to V19, I believe. So just drag it somewhere in the middle of V19. And that looks good. Now we want to edit this histogram a little bit, customize it a little bit for our purposes. So down here, instead of bin, double click on that. And I want selling price spelled correctly. So that's good for the horizontal axis. Now for the vertical axis, change frequency to number of sales. Change the chart title from histogram, because change the title to sales by price group. Get rid of that legend. And I think I want to get rid of my bins data down here as well. So highlight that and clear those cells. And I think we're good to go. So over here on the left is the histogram data, and then to the right is the chart that is built off of that data. So save the file. Let's go over here and submit it. Upload my file. It's in my downloads directory. Should be up top since I have that folder sorted by date. Hit yes, submit the file. Watch the little scroll bar go by. And there we go. Perfect score again. What do you know? All right, that's it for the Quiz 9 walkthrough. And have a great day. Go Knowles. Run away. Run away.